Welcome back to the channel. Today's video is focusing on getting you some of the best experiences possible on your brand new Z Flip 7 or Z Fold 7. And some of the tips I'm going to give you guys today also carry over to other Samsung devices. So this is TK and these are some great tips for your brand new devices. Let's check them out and see how they're going to improve your experience. Like and subscribe and make sure you hit that bell icon so that you're always notified to whenever we have new videos for you on the channel. So we have both devices. This is the Z Flip 7. I have a case on it on the front, as well as the fact that we have a beautiful large 6.9-inch display. The Z Flip 7 and the Z Fold 7 are basically Samsung's innovation for 2025 when it comes to the Flip series or the Z series of devices. They're both larger, bigger, better, more improved than what we've seen in previous generation of these devices. Also, one of the first devices on Samsung's lineup that was released with OneUi 8 on top of Android 16. Yes, this is running the latest version of not only Samsung software, but also Google's operating system release. Short of being a Pixel, these are the first devices to receive that update and officially launch with it. So I've set up my devices slightly differently. The Z Fold 7 is running Nova Prime as the primary launcher, and you are able to install and run your own separate launcher. And it is running on the internal display as well as the external display. So when I'm using it externally, it runs just the same. And as you can see, all the applications format and transfer and everything basically goes more so into the normal standard 16:9 aspect ratio smartphone. And on the Z Flip 7, I kept it running the OneUi home launcher because I wanted to kind of show you guys the capabilities of the things you can do from customizing the experience on the actual standard OneUi 8, and of course using your own custom launcher. And again, these will probably be very similar to other versions of OneUi. But the first thing we're going to start talking about today is obviously Good Lock. Now, the reason why I'm mentioning Good Lock, I'm not just talking about Good Lock in general. Good Lock is a set of tools, a set of applications or modules that they're referred to that provide us the ability of customizing our device, a Samsung specific device, more so than what we get out of the box from Samsung. As you can see, it's installed and running on both the Z Flip 7 and the Z Fold 7. And depending on the device that you're using, you're going to get slightly different module. But the ones I want to talk to you about first, the first and foremost one that I really appreciate is this one. This one is called Home Up. Now, Home Up is a module that allows us to customize the home launcher experience for Samsung, but it also works with third-party launchers because it actually also helps us change the task changer. That's this little functionality where we're able to change what applications are open and how they actually show up, and you're able to change those customizations in there. So the first thing I'll say is if you download or you get your first Samsung device, download Good Lock directly from the Galaxy App Store. It is available only there. You'll be able to customize it and download the different modules. Out of the box, you'll see the modules installed or the list of compatible modules to your device. These are the ones running on OneUi 8.0, so for the most part, if you see it here, it should be backwards compatible. There are different versions of them, and they finally did update Home Up. It was not available at launch, but as of last Friday, this actually became available for us. Now, there's a lot of other things you can customize, but what I like about Home Up, let's go ahead and go back here, and the reason why it's my number one pick to give you guys the best experience, is you can change the home screen customization, and that's the ability of customizing, the ability of even doing it's something called the DIY home screen. So you can change basically the dialog home, app icon settings, background blur effect, the loop pages, the Finder access, a favorite number of Max's applications in there, of course, when you go to recent, move app button, app screen grid, all of those. And one of my favorite ones is when we're able to actually customize the placement of our icons wherever we want, to actually allow it to be more, I guess, in tune with what we're looking at. So an example would be here. You notice that my Google search is positioned at the top. My Good Lock is sitting on the left, and my Google Play Store is sitting on the right side, all around Shinran here, as opposed to having it be on top of it in a standard grid. You can customize these experiences, again, move them down a little bit, and of course, you can have up to 5 applications in there. It's very nice, very simple, and again, that's one of the functional options that we get in there. So let's go ahead and go back in here. Go back into Home Up. The next one is Backup and Restore, so you can keep your settings saved. Task Changer, as we talked about them, we have them both on this. And you can change between tilt stack, grid, vertical stack, vertical list, and then slim list. You can also change it to be more of a short list in case you want to be able to see more of your background. Keep that normally, that's the mini mode. You're also able to center the application, the most recent app, because if you don't do that by default, it does kind of like jumps over into the next one. And if you say center, next time you open it up, it keeps it in the actual perspective. App labels, of course, and a search bar functionality or app option is also added in there. Gesture settings in there, edge panel configuration, and then the share manager, which is really nice. And this is something that I've always wanted to be able to customize. Whenever you hit that share button, you can actually customize what are your favorite contacts and which ones you want to be able to share to first. Now, typically you can customize that experience a little bit with most devices. With Home Up on Good Lock, it allows us to go even further and customize that. And again, at the end of the day, back it up and save it so that you don't have to lose these settings. And next time you just restore them when you get your new device. So that was number one. And I'll say that by far, that is one of my favorite options. The next one we're going to talk about is called One-Handed Operations Plus. Now, this module is available both within Good Lock and it's also available on the Google Play Store. And it's basically pretty much the way it's spelled, One Hand Operation Plus, and you just download it and install it. Also, just to mention here real quick, let's go in one more time. This little icon on the right side takes you directly into the Samsung Galaxy App Store. If you have any update, there'll be a secondary icon. You can actually click on it, and then from there, you'll be able to update it directly from there. The reason why this is functional, you can customize these two bars on the right side of your device and left, well, the right and left. And you can customize them by basically customizing gestures. So if I go down here, it's a back button. If I go switch back, this is revert back to the last application. If I switch up, well, actually I need to be out of it here. Let's go ahead and one more time. And once I go up, you'll notice that there is that nice little, kind of like a trackpad. This makes it so that a one-handed operation, a one-handed person can actually go all the way to the most far right, top left side of the phone, top right side, bring it down. If I'm done with it, I can actually just close it. If I want to launch it again, bring it back up. And what I like about it, it has some gesture functionality as well as a back and a close. So you can bring it down and you can customize the apps on the left side to be, again, very much the same experience. Let's go ahead and bring this up one more time, go back into Good Lock. And the beauty of it is there is a plethora of applications that you can customize. Let's go ahead and go back into. And you can customize both the left side and the right side and how thick the actual bars are. You can go in, customize them the straight, back, top, down, bottom, launch swipe, and of course, align handles. And of course, this is just one of the best experiences, especially when you're using a large device. It works just the same on the internal display as it does on the external display. So let's go ahead and unlock. I can actually bring it up, and then from there, you can kind of see the actual mouse pad, but you can definitely see the cursor for it. I can actually click it, and it just enables me to be able to get a much better functionality out of a one-handed function. So for me, I have it swipe up top, and as far as swipe left takes me to the last app. And of course, I can swipe up to the top, bring it back, and then I can actually have it very nice and customizable. Built into One-Handed Operations Plus, again, available for Samsung devices, and this one is available directly from the Google Play Store. So that would be my second tip for anybody trying to get the best experiences on the device like this. And of course, let's go ahead and unlock it. We can go home. And again, 6.9-inch display on the inside here, of course, married to a nice, beautiful 4.1-inch display on the outside. Now, the next module we're going to talk about is called Camera Assistant. Again, as I mentioned to you guys, if it's not installed, just go ahead and hit the download button. You'll notice it's going to go through, download it, install it, and it becomes right away available for us to use it. We'll go ahead directly into Camera Assistant. Again, we can change the 2x crop shortcut, the auto HDR, turn on picture softening, auto lens switching, distortion correction, of course, advanced resolution options in here, as well as the ability of turning on upscaling digital zoom in case when you're taking zoomed in pictures, it actually tries to upscale these images and give you a better image. Quick tap shutter, if you've ever had that concern or you've noticed ever that when you're taking a picture with Samsung, when you hit the shutter button, that's not exactly when it's snapping the image. It takes a second for it to capture the image. This will allow it to basically automatically process whenever the shutter button is actually clicked. So you can turn that on directly in there. Prioritizing focus over speed, also customized there. Motion shutter sound, of course, video recording in photo mode, the timer for multi-photo options, and of course, a few other additional options in there, as well as HDR10+, and of course, audio monitoring. The last one that I'm really happy about to see here is the clean preview via HDMI display, as well as save videos to external storage if you have an external drive connected directly to the USB-C port, allowing us to save large files and not have to take too much of the storage inside of our device. But last but not least, if you're using an external display to leverage using the great 200 megapixel camera that we have in here, as well as the 50 megapixel, we're also able to provide a clean video feed over HDMI, which means the UI element of the camera when it does the screen mirroring, let's go ahead and open it up, like the shutter button, all of that goes away, and then all you're going to get is a clean video version of that on the external display. The next thing we're going to talk about is the fact that one of the best experiences that you can get on a smartphone is when you're using the best cameras on a smartphone. Now, the Z Flip 7 and the Z Fold 7 have slightly different experiences. The Z Fold 7 at its core, when it's closed, pretty much works like a regular smartphone. You have a front-facing camera and you have the 3 cameras on the back. The primary 200 megapixel camera is obviously going to give us the best experience as it can shoot up to 8K video. The front-facing camera can shoot up to 1080p as well as 4K 60, but again, I still feel like the processing and of course the detail is going to be much better there. If we want to be able to use the best camera on this device, and we'll talk about the Zflip, you open up the camera application and you're noticing right out of the box, it's actually using the main cameras in the back. But if I switch it over to myself, now I have to kind of leverage, I'm hoping that I'm actually centered and not knowing exactly what's going on. Well, the Fold and the Flip both have this function of allowing us to use an external display. So I'll go ahead and open this. This shows me a preview of the recent image that I took. So let's go into photo. It'll show me basically the last image that I took while I was in the camera. But when I switch over to that functionality, at this point, now we're able to use the best cameras on this device, as well as the ability of actually swiping this way, turning off the internal display. So I can actually now hold it straight up, not having to worry about it. And I'm actually using my device. So at this point, I can center myself, focus, switch over to video mode. I can shoot all the way up to 8K. I can turn on HDR, go to 4K, and I can shoot up to 8K 30 frames per second. Now, for the most part, I always like to stay in 4K 60. That's personal preference. But this is the best way to shoot. And you can also use accessories with cases like I'm showing you guys right now. If you have a MagSafe functionality with this Moft case kickstand, that enables me to use it more of like an extended short tripod that I can take it with me. Not only position it on a table, but also walk around and raise it. And I did that when I was traveling to Sweden with the ZFold 7, and it's absolutely great experience. It's small, it's pocketable, gets rid of the wobble on the back when you're using a MagSafe case. It's really, really nice. Now, that experience is very similar to what we can get on the Zflip 7, with the exception of the Zflip 7 doesn't have to be opened. It starts off with the display. It starts off with that 4.1-inch display. And the reason why I like it is because I can press once, double press on it, I can launch the camera, I can switch between photo, video, as well as portrait, and I can customize the experience to the way I want it. Also, when we're in video, we're actually able to shoot up to 4K 60 frames per second if we use it in the native resolution or the way the orientation of the sensor is set. So as long as I'm using it in this mode, it works great. If I start using a case that has MagSafe functionality, let's go ahead and put in this case real quick. And let's say I use it with this case, set it up, put it up. And at this point, now we have a portable tripod, again, very similar to what we did with the ZFold. And at this point, I can actually use it, set it up, and I can actually use it very much the way I want it. I can also answer video calls directly within Google Meet. I can even launch separate applications. It's a great experience to be able to use this system and leverage the functionalities, and why I feel like we need MagSafe accessories for devices like this. Of course, the case itself, very simple and very easy to use. You can go back, use the fingerprint sensor, access the home screen. You can change the lock screen experience. So let's go ahead and press and hold here and change them by making different customized experience that you can see here, and switch to the one you want. Whichever one you want to be able to stick to, you can go. Accessing your notifications on the left, accessing your toggles on the top, applications, of course, everything you want. It runs the way you want it. And honestly, I feel like this is one of the best solutions. And of course, if you want to expand this experience, take it up to the next level, you can open it up, access all your application, carry them from the inside to the outside, and of course, just enjoy your device. And that's one of the reasons why I feel like having the best experience on both the main cameras on these devices will always top any other option. Because this device is so small, again, very thin, very nice. The battery size is very nice and substantial. And the fact that we can actually launch Gemini on this device, not only Gemini, but also Gemini Live, as well as Gemini Video. This is something that not a lot of devices can leverage because of the size and the format of this device. This really makes it so that some of the other assistants, like out on the market, there's some assistants that are roughly about the same size that can do similar things, but they don't have the ability of running Gemini. They don't have the ability of having that deep integration of where Gemini is connected, not only on the actual device, but even, let's say, on your smartwatch. You can actually launch Gemini directly, interact with it, and of course, use that experience and carry it over here. But the ability of launching Gemini directly from the home screen, lock screen right away, you can interact with it via voice, do your searches. You can use, obviously, the conversation, the live mode, but also you'll be able to actually using the video option with the front-facing cameras as you're using it. So you can turn it on, position it to the way you want, and start having your conversations the way you want them. Of course, there's a certain extent, if you open it too much, it does actually end up opening up directly on the inside screen, but it's very nice to be able to see it, leverage it, use it, and of course, have it at our hand whenever we want. And you don't even have to open up the phone. As I said, it's absolutely great. The last tip I'm going to give you guys here is something referencing flex mode. What is flex mode and how do we use it? Now, flex mode in general, the way we've seen it in the past is very straightforward. You open up your device. Let's say you jump into a YouTube music application. Let's go ahead and bring it up and I'll actually get out of a full screen mode. Now, YouTube Music is a great application, but it's an application that maybe can become a little bit more functional. Let's say I put my smartphone down, let it go back into the right orientation, and then tilt the display. You notice right away it shifts over to flex mode. It now becomes a player. I don't have to lift over to the top. I can make the entire experience here. I can also turn on a little bit of a trackpad. Now this becomes very functional, especially with different content that you're using. It is touch sensitive as well as gesture sensitive. You're also able to bring down the notification panel if you want to be able to do that. You can also take screenshots if you want to be able to take those, even open them up directly within the gallery application and still have the gesture mode built into that. Now, the next thing that I like about it is the advancement that we have. We have quick settings here. Of course, we have the ability to start screen recording, display brightness, volume, as well as settings of this function. You can, of course, bring it down and close it and open it up the way you want by just turning it on within the settings. Now, this becomes more functional when we're in YouTube, because when we're watching videos that typically take the entire display, now we have a player that matches it. I can have a gesture functionality, screenshot, screen recording. I can also jump in from this function directly into, let's say, a split screen function. Now, these may not be the best pairing of applications, but you can also still shift them, switch them around, and also you can star them by means of making them into a shortcut. It means you can actually launch these applications directly. It's straightforward, and it is married on the ZFold. You turn it on, and it allows you to actually have that little shortcut button that comes up right away when you actually get into flex mode. It doesn't come up here because this is the setting. You could see that when you open up the actual device or you tilt it over, you'll see that little icon that comes up and you can bring it down and close it whenever you don't want it. And it becomes an easy solution to help you multitask and do more with your device. Of course, you can customize it to whichever applications it opens up, on what position it's actually sitting, touchpad gestures, auto show and hide for what apps, and how often it actually turns on. So that little function allows us to have the button to activate it when we need it. Here, it automatically turns on for specific applications. Again, when we're running YouTube and I open it up in flex mode, it automatically switches to that function. And this is even more functional when you're using it on the ZFold 7 because we're actually able to position it down, set it, and now again, not only do we have that tripod, the touch functionality is on the right, and of course the preview is on the left side. So let's say I go ahead and take a quick picture. Let's go ahead and put a picture here. Okay, you'll notice here the preview stays on my left, the function stays on the right. And again, we're leveraging the realistic that we have in here. The main cameras are being used there. It's absolutely fantastic. And again, you can customize the experience, or you can also turn on the shortcuts. As I mentioned, you also have the touchpad, the different options, turn it off, minimize it, and it goes back to the same functionality again. This is allowing us to truly utilize the flexibility of these displays. It's not just about having a small display that turns to a bigger display. It's how do you use the landscape. Multitasking on the ZFold 7 and the ZFlip 7 are taken to the next level. DeX is supported on both the ZFold 7 and the ZFlip 7. Now, obviously, this is more of the new DeX that we've seen come out. If you'd like to see a video on that, please let me know in the comments below. If you'd like me to do a comparison between classic DeX and the DeX that we have now on OneUi 8.0, that's really more positioned and leveraging Google's built-in desktop mode than what we've had before in the past, where Samsung had to basically reinvent the code just to be able to get us a desktop experience. So the tips that I'm sharing with you guys today should translate very nicely. Home Up, One Hand Operations Plus, as well as Camera Assistant, as well as all the other modules within Good Lock should be able to work for you guys on any Samsung device that supports Good Lock. So go directly to the Galaxy Store, see if the application is available, download it, and then you'll see exactly which modules are supported on your device. There are ones even more specifically made for the S25 series, S25 Ultra with the S Pen. There's Pentastic. There's even one specifically made for the pen. So it's absolutely a great tool, and I really wish at some point that we will start seeing at least the Good Lock launcher, not the modules themselves, but at least the launcher be part of the standard installation of tools or applications from Samsung and any brand new Galaxy device, be it an S series, a Z Flip, Z series, an A series, or whatever, as it always brings in more functional options and a better user experience in the long run. And if you guys do like these tips, let me know in the comments below, what do you guys have as a recommendation or a tip, maybe for other people to be able to pick up in the comments to maybe get even more out of their devices. Like and subscribe as usual. Thank you very much for the support. Make sure to check out the links in the description below if you'd like to learn more about the ZFold and the ZFlip 7. Of course, though, if you would like to be able to pick up one for yourself. There are going to be cases and other video links that are going to be there as well for other content that I've made on these devices. I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye for now.